Hello and welcome to Candidates on the Clock, sponsored by the Newton Chamber of Commerce. I'm your host, Lanier Sims. Today we're joined with Phyllis Hatcher, that is running for a U.S. House of Representatives, District 10. Ms. Hatcher, could you take a couple minutes and tell the citizens a little bit more about you?
Okay, well, thank you, Newton County, for giving this candidates on the clock. My name is Phyllis Hatcher, and I am a candidate for the United States House Rep District 10. A little bit of personal about myself. I'm married, been married for over 25 years. I have two daughters, Angeline and Kim, and a grandson, Jason. I lived in Georgia all of my life. I'm one of those persons that they would call a Grady baby, so I've been here pretty much all of my life. I have a degree in religious studies from Brewer Heights University. And I know that we're going to talk about this a little bit later, but what prompted me to run for office is that I have issues and I have concerns. As I mentioned earlier about my daughters, Kim really, when she was 16 years old, she was just diagnosed with juvenile diabetes. And she's insulin dependent, which she has to have insulin to live. So that's what really prompted me to actually run for office. So that's just a little bit of synopsis about the reason why I am running. So thank you all again for giving me this opportunity to share a little bit more.
Thank you. Thank you. As you're aware of that, we had local citizens to submit questions that they wanted to know about this particular race. So first question, how are you planning to address climate change?
You know, I knew you was going to ask me that. Well, this is the only planet that we have. Even though we have said that we've been to Mars and other planets, but this is the only planet that we have, and this is one that we need to try to protect. I would be supporting Joe Biden's plan as far as making sure that we continue to keep our ocean clean, continue to build electrical car systems to get rid of this emission control. As you all know, that Newton County is part of a plan of this Rivet, I believe, electrical car system that's coming into this county. So I will continue to support Joe Biden's plan as far as making sure that our planet stays safe.
Okay, good. Next question, what provisions, if any, do you or would you support in the Build Back Better bill that's currently stalled in Congress?
Well, we know that we have the infrastructure plan as far as making sure that we build better bridges and better places and support more jobs for the citizens of the United States. So whatever Joe Biden plans is on the Build Back Better plan, I looked at some of them, but not all of them. But whatever that he has in place, especially the infrastructure plan, I would be supporting.
Okay, thank you. What is your plan to reduce the dependence on fossil fuels?
I don't know. I haven't actually looked at that, so I can't answer that question.
Okay, thank you. Let's see. Next question hits home a little bit. What are your plans to bring federal funds back to Newton County to make it a better place to live, work, and play?
Well, that's a good one, because as I have been traveling around these 18 counties, and I want to make sure that I'm not harping on anyone, but the person that was in that seat prior to had not brought any funds back to any of these counties as far as I have seen. I have seen a lot of blight buildings around these different 18 counties, and my plan is for Newton for sure, is to make sure that whatever funding that is needed, that it would come from the federal down to the state and to the local, and to make sure that we receive the funds that we need, yes.
Thank you. What is your view on term limits in Congress?
I've been asked that a lot. Now that's kind of hard. Well, I wouldn't say hard, but it's, okay, let's see. I want to make sure I say this and don't offend anyone.
Right.
I support term limits, and I do not support term limits. I feel that if a person is doing their job, they should have an opportunity to continue to do their job. But then now on the other side of that, where I have two daughters, like I mentioned, and my second child is Angeline, and she's of this millennial group. And so she feels that when a person sits in office too long, that they're out of touch with the new coming of age. Because she would say, well, Mom, I love this person, but I feel that this person has sat in office so long, and now I believe that it's time for him to leave and give a younger person opportunity because we think differently from what you all think.
Right.
And she's correct because, I am an AT&T girl. I'm going to reach out and touch someone. Where she's constantly texting all day long, and they are social media, Instagramming and tweeting and all that the same thing. I'm 62. I'm not Instagramming. I'm not tweeting. I may be Facebooking. But so the term limits for me, if you're too old in age, I believe, that you should give someone else an opportunity. So I support it, and then I don't support it. So can you kind of like support and not support?
I definitely understand.
Okay, cool.
All right. Our next question, at what point do you think the federal government should implement wage and price controls to slow down this increasing inflation?
They should have been doing that in 1989 and 1990. And here we are in 2022, and we're still struggling with something that should have took place in the early 90s. So when you're talking about wages, are you talking about job when you talk about wages?
Yes.
I mean, you all know that that the state is what, $5.15 and the federal is $7.25. Who in the devil can continue to live off of that? And then, especially with this pandemic that we're in, and everything is kind of like going higher and higher and higher. And even with the $15 an hour wage that's on the floor, of course I would be supporting that, but we're behind. I mean, if you take a average mortgage payment of $800 or $1,000 a month, you're trying to live off $7 and $5 per hour, and don't have car insurance and car notes and child care, and then we're still talking about $15, I would want to support and suggest a $25 an hour work week. Don't know how I'm going to do it yet, but I would like to put that more on the floor because $15 an hour should have been in the early 90s, and we're in 2022, and we're still talking about $15.
Thank you. What will you do to support voters' rights?
Whoa. Okay. I'm going to do anything in my power to support voting rights. I mean, you all know that in 1965, that the people of color was given the right to vote. I support the John Lewis's bill. But at the same time, I still question that because why is it? And I mean, let me just calm down because that's kind of touching for me. Why is it that even in 1965, that we even had to have a right to vote? I mean, we're all citizens here. We're all human beings. My blood runs the same way as your blood. But it had to happen, okay? I mean, it's there. It's in the process, and it took place. So when I'm elected into office, I swear to God, I would be on that floor screaming about the voters' rights. I mentioned this before, and I think I kind of like offended someone, but I don't even want to have a bill for a right to vote because there shouldn't even be one. I feel that everyone that is a human being that is not a what's called those animals, terrestrial animals or whatever they call dinosaurs or whatever, if you're not one of those persons, you should be able to have a right to vote, regardless of what color your skin is, regardless of what your nationality is, regardless of what your sex is. It should just be an automatic process. And it bothers me when we have to have a bill to do it. So, yeah.
Thank you. All right, this next question is, it's a little interesting. So, would you support a know your customer law requiring social media companies to verify the identities of users the same way that the financial institutions do?
So is that a way for Trump to come back on and start tweeting?
I guess this would be to eliminate fake profiles, and I'm assuming to help to curtail fake news or fake postings.
So what would I do to support it, you say?
So the question is, would you support a know your customer? And that is a law that financial institutions have. So would you support a know your customer law requiring social media companies to verify the identities of users the same way we do with financial institutions?
I would.
Thank you. What are your legislative goals and how will they impact the counties in your district?
Well, as you know, that the federal government pretty much do not deal in local politics. You know that. But my federal goals is to push affordable health care, a good living wage, and these voting rights bill. And also to talk about a little bit about a woman's right to choose. You know, there's so many things that can be done in Washington, but the three things that I will actually be harking on are affordable health care. And can I just talk about a little bit about the affordable health care, just a little bit? All right. As I had mentioned, you know, earlier about my daughter Kim. Kim was diagnosed with juvenile diabetes at the age of 16. And I was a young single mother at that time. And I didn't have any health insurance. As a matter of fact, I'm sitting here right now with you with no health insurance. And that's unfortunate, but the Obamacare Act, you know, it helped a lot of people, but it didn't help everybody. And I just feel that everybody should be able to afford health care. I mean, especially when you have an illness. But then not only that, we're in this process, right, where at 65, we get Medicare. And hopefully I get mine in 3 more years. Can't wait to get it so I can have some health insurance, right? So at 65, we get this thing that's called Medicare. But we're more so on this side of the earth than we are on this side. Well, you kind of like agree with that. So why is it that we have to wait until we're halfway in the grave to take care of ourselves?
Right.
When you have lived on this side of the earth, like myself, with no health care insurance, where I may, thank God that I have not, but just in case I have gotten all these illnesses, you know, high blood pressure, heart stuff, cancer and all this, with no health insurance. But I have to wait till I get over here to get it when I'm almost in the grave. I feel, and I want to introduce this bill. I don't know how I'm gonna do it because I've never been a legislator before, but I'm passionate about what I want to have done. I want to introduce affordable health care where a person could at least get it at 50 from Social Security versus 65. Now, even 50 is not young, because when I turned 50, I felt that I was half of 100. To me, that was being old. So I want to introduce something in the federal side that we could start receiving our Medicare at 50. And then at least we have a chance to take care of whatever illness that we have accumulated over here with the health insurance, to be able to have at least a few more years on this side. Because I don't know, you all know, but you know, Grace gives us, well, the statistic says that a person will live at least 75 to 77, right? The word tells us that anything after that is grace and mercy. So I want to be able to have a little bit more on this side, so when I get over here, I'll be able to have a little bit more on that side. So yeah, I'm going to try to figure out how to introduce a health care bill that we can receive Medicare at 50 versus at 65.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And thank you for answering the top questions submitted by our citizens. At this time, can you close us out with any further information you would like the voters to know about yourself and your campaign?
Okay. Well, as I had mentioned earlier, I'm Phyllis Hatcher, and I am a candidate for the United States House Rep. We need to start electing people in office that really have common goals, common people goals in mind. Even though, you know, I'm not the one that have all these alphabets behind my name, but I am a person that have lived life, that I know how to be a base and how to be a bound. I would be that person that, as Shirley Chisholm say, that I would be unbought and unbossed. I want to pull a chair up to the table so I can work for you all in this congressional tent, so we can make sure that we have a good affordable health care. We have a good $15 an hour minimum wage. And then these voting rights, oh man, that's another story. But please visit hatcherforphyllis.com on my website. And then also my Facebook, I believe also again is Hatcher for Phyllis District 10, Congress. And let's see, do I have a Twitter? I believe I do because my daughter said I did. And I know that I have Instagram. So please visit hatcherforcongress.com. Look at some of the platforms that's on the website. And if you have any questions, my cell number is on there. It's not a Google number, it's my cell. And we can have conversations a little bit more about District 10. And thank you, Newton County Chamber of Commerce. Thank you, Mr. Sims, for sitting here with me. And I look forward to having you all vote. But don't forget, early voting starts May 2nd. The primary is May 24th. And please check your precincts, because as you all know, the lines has been redrawn. And you may be at Friendship today and be at Springfield tomorrow. So please start early looking, go on to sos.gov to find out where you need to go vote and who your people would be. Again, I am Phyllis Hatcher, and I would love to be your United States House Rep District 10. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.